get square meals of art fundamentals like anatomy or gesture drawing. My daughter needs regular doses of value structure, but we can't get them. Sometimes our dog finds a half-eaten anatomy sandwich, or we find a morsel of shape design. But mostly we scrape by with some fundamentals once in a few months. And while an artist stops by once in a while and buys us a big lunch, it doesn't help us in the long term. Hi guys, I'm Ramya and you're watching Mission Mastery. We just saw that, like us, our sketches too need a balanced and regular diet of art fundamentals to keep them looking healthy, proportionate and beautiful. And stuffing them with the fundamentals once in a blue moon is no good. And I'm guilty of it too. I used to think that studying a concept once meant that I'd be able to successfully implement it in my artwork forever. So, what's the solution? Spaced iterative learning. What this means is that you learn a concept several times at regular intervals over a long time. Ideally, in every iteration, you'll be studying the concept, followed by practice, and then applying it to your own work. This would help gauge your understanding of the lessons. In this video, I'm going to share with you what kind of changes you can expect in your knowledge over several iterations. Now, mind you, I'm on the learning journey myself, so part of what I'm going to talk about comes from first-hand experience, and part of it comes from talking to people who've been doing this for way longer and by observing masters from various fields. This is when you make the first contact with this new and alien concept. You're trying to figure out how friendly it is and where it hides its fangs. On this graph, where the x-axis depicts how aware you are of your knowledge of a skill and the y-axis depicts the mastery of that skill, we all essentially start by stumbling around here, at unknown. Being here means that you haven't yet acquired the tools to explain why your art doesn't work. By learning the concept several times initially, you slowly start to figure out the terms and rules used in it and what kind of tools you might need to get started with it. By the end of this round, you might have uncovered a big portion of what you don't know and what you need to start focusing on. By now, you've spent some time trying to tame the beast by applying the concept to your own work. And although it has improved your work somewhat, it still doesn't look as good as the artists you've been learning from. But this time, you know exactly what to work on. In fact, you can methodically start to narrow your focus to specific weak areas within each concept. And slowly, you start to shed light on all the known unknowns that require your attention, meaning you're beginning to be able to explain why your artwork does or doesn't work. Okay, by now you've had the time to observe this beast from several angles and you're beginning to pick up a few tricks to tame it. You've also been able to see how other artists tackle this beast in their own ways. You might be able to observe the nuances that the concept has to offer and how each artist infuses their own personality to make it look unique. But remember, the path to this stage, where you use the knowledge about why your art doesn't work to make it work, is non-linear and can take a long time. It's like knowing that regular exercise and a healthy diet would get those washboard abs versus making a commitment to do it every day and then doing it for months and years before getting sustainable results. So this is where most of us dream of being when we start our art journeys. A lot of the concepts have just become intuition by this point, which means that in the land of the unknown knowns, you may not always be able to explain why your art looks so amazing all the time. You might get there not after the 4th or 5th, but maybe after hundreds of iterations, wherein you've applied that concept thousands of times in every possible scenario you could think of. This is also where you'd be able to apply the same concept in different contexts and make informed decisions to bend the rules to elevate your artwork. As we learn new concepts and strengthen old ones, we may flit in and out of these areas on the graph. So don't expect a linear journey. Each round that I just showed might contain more than one iteration. The exact number depends on the individual, of course. I, for one, need to study something at least 5 or 6 times in every round to grasp the basics, and I keep studying it if I'm looking to improve. Every iteration solidifies your fundamentals, strengthens your observational skills, helps you grasp more nuances, and makes it easier to mix and match different concepts and play. It also builds a good system of self-critique, which comes in really handy when you don't have a critique group, and make sure that your ascension from the known unknowns to the known knowns doesn't stop. And isn't it exciting to know that even after learning so much, art still has something to teach you today that you didn't know yesterday? I'm always looking forward to that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, so please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll see you next time.